What is up, everybody? It's Animac here for Anime Uproar, and welcome to a brand new Attack on Titan video. Thank you so much for all the crazy support for our latest Attack on Titan video, in which we talked about why we think that dinosaurs are shown in the Attack on Titan Season 2 opening. In this video, we are going to be talking about the 9th and final Titan shifter, the Warhammer Titan. We first learned about the Warhammer Titan in chapter 95 of the manga. We were told that this Titan power has been possessed by the Tybur family for generations. However, we know very little about the unique powers of the Warhammer Titan, and I saw a bunch of disappointed comments from people who were hoping that the 9th Titan shifter would be something cool like a flying Titan or an underwater Titan, and these comments were saying things like, "Great job, Isayama, you could have made the 9th Titan something cool, but you made him a Titan that just holds a freaking hammer." Other people jokingly called the 9th Titan shifter the Thor Titan, but this joke might not be so far from the truth. In this video, we will look at the evidence from the Attack on Titan manga and extra material, including the information we have so far about the special powers of the 8 other Titan shifters, in order to present a theory on what the Warhammer Titan's true power might be. I want to thank Solmaka, Meebspeeb, and Aaron Yega for their feedback in the Anime Theories channel of our Discord server. And if you want to talk about anime theories and contribute to future videos, you can join our Discord server as well, link in the description. And now, if you are psyched and ready to go, be sure to Warhammer smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. In chapter 95 of the manga, we learned that the Tybur family, the holders of the Warhammer Titan power, is a family of Eldian aristocrats who opposed King Fritz when he decided to move the capital of Eldia to Paradis 100 years ago, and supposedly for this reason they were given preferential treatment by the Marleyan government. Unlike other Eldians who are forced to live in internment zones, the Tybur family are considered honorary Marleyans, and they live in big mansions on big estates. Even stranger than this is the fact that the Tyburs have controlled the power of the Warhammer Titan this whole time, but they never once used this power to help Marley against an enemy state. We know how the Marleyan government treats Eldians, we know how hated the Eldians are as the so-called spawn of the devil, and we know that the Marleyan army has gone to extreme lengths to use the power of the Titans in their wars with other nations, even when that means sacrificing the lives of innocent Eldian civilians and children. So, could it really be that this same Marleyan government is just so grateful to the Tybur family for opposing the 145th king 100 years ago that they not only let them live freely as rich aristocrats while every other Eldian is forced to live in internment zones, but they're also perfectly fine with the Tybur family keeping the power of the Warhammer Titan to themselves instead of using it to help Marley fight its wars with other nations? From everything we know about the Marleyan government and its treatment of Eldians, this makes no sense. The only way that this whole situation would make any sense is if the Marleyan government is not grateful to the Tybur family, but afraid of the power of the Warhammer Titan. If the Warhammer Titan's power is so strong that it poses a huge threat to Marley, then it would make sense for the Marleyan government to negotiate a deal with the Tybur family. A deal in which the Tyburs are allowed to live lavishly and keep the Titan power for themselves. But what could the Warhammer Titan's secret power possibly be if it can scare the Marleyan government into making such an uncharacteristic compromise? Remember earlier when I mentioned the Thor Titan? We know that the world of Attack on Titan and the power of the Titans itself is strongly influenced by Norse mythology. And of course, in Norse mythology, Thor is a hammer-wielding god associated with thunder, lightning, and storms. According to Norse mythology, Thor's hammer, called Mjolnir, is one of the most powerful weapons in existence, and it is able to level entire mountains. Now, we know that every Titan shifter has a certain unique power and ability. The Colossus Titan is huge and extremely strong, and has the ability to generate steam and massive explosions. The Armor Titan, of course, has really strong armor. Jaw Titan is quick and agile. The Female Titan has impressive endurance and the ability to call other Titans to her. The Founding Titan can control other Titans, and so on. So what if the secret power of the Warhammer Titan is that, like Thor, he has the power to generate or control lightning or electricity? We already know that when humans transform into Titans, something very similar to flashes of lightning appears, so it would not be so far-fetched to think that a Titan can have the ability to generate and control lightning. And if this were the case, it would explain why the Marleyan government would fear the Warhammer Titan. Don't forget that unlike the Eldians on Paradis, Marley relies far more on modern technology for everything. Ships, blimps, trains, planes, and weapons. And what type of weapon could do the most damage to this kind of technology? A weapon that harnesses the power of lightning or electricity. I'm sure you know the type of damage that a sudden power surge can cause to household appliances and devices. So imagine what a massive surge of concentrated electric power could do to Marleyan technology. What if the real reason that the Marleyans, despite their deep-seated hatred for the Eldian race, allowed the Tybur family to live as aristocrats and keep the Warhammer Titan power for themselves is that they are afraid that the secret power of the Warhammer Titan could cause terrible damage to their technology, perhaps even destabilize entire cities. If this happened, Marley would be vulnerable to attacks from rival nations who would want to take advantage of their weakness. So rather than risk trying to confront the Tyburs, the Marleyan government decided to simply deal with the Tybur family to make a deal with them. In return, I imagine that the Tybur family agreed not to interfere with the terrible treatment of the other Eldians by the Marleyan government. And if you think I'm crazy to say that Attack on Titan would draw so heavily from Norse mythology as to give the Warhammer Titan powers similar to Thor, consider this. In Norse mythology, the first living being that was ever created was a giant called Ymir. Yes, you heard that right. Y-M-I-R, Ymir, the exact same name as the first Titan shifter in Attack on Titan, Ymir Fritz. This Ymir from Norse mythology was also a progenitor as he created the Jotnar, a race of frost giants. These giants are closely associated with natural phenomena like bad weather and storms, and some stories claim that giants can move and create mountains, form lakes, move islands, and uproot trees. So like the Titans of Eldia, they could potentially build an entire empire. Just looking at the way that the giants and gods were depicted in Norse mythology, we see a huge similarity to how Ymir Fritz and the Titans are portrayed in drawings within the world of Attack on Titan. And by the way, did you notice this image from the Attack on Titan Season 2 closing credits? This image appears to show Ymir Fritz in Titan form rising out of the sea and preparing to fight an enemy army. But do you see the thick clouds and lightning all around her? Now maybe it is just a coincidence that a giant storm is raging at the same time that Ymir appeared, but maybe it's actually a hint that, like in Norse mythology which so heavily influenced Attack on Titan, Ymir's Titan had the power to control the weather and lightning in particular. If this was the case, when Ymir's Titan power was split between the 9 Titan shifters, the ability to control lightning could have passed on to the Warhammer Titan. And speaking of the 9 Titan shifters, did you know that in Norse mythology there is a ring called Draupnir that belonged to the god Odin, the father of Thor? According to legend, on every 9th night, this ring would multiply itself and create 8 new rings. So instead of 1 ring, we would get 9 rings, just like Ymir's Titan power was transferred from her into 9 Titan shifters. There is also something like an equivalent to the coordinate in Norse mythology. The Yggdrasil, or the World Tree, appears to connect the 9 different worlds in Norse mythology in a similar way that the coordinate connects all Eldians through paths that transcend physical space. And since the world of Attack on Titan is clearly so heavily influenced by Norse mythology, I don't think it's too much of a stretch to think that the Warhammer Titan is directly inspired by Thor, who is known for his famous hammer and the ability to control lightning. As I mentioned earlier, this would explain why the Marleyan government has given such special treatment to the Tybur family compared to all other Eldians. If the Warhammer Titan has the power to harness lightning or electricity, the damage it could cause to Marleyan technology is a strong motivation for the Marleyans to make a deal with the Tyburs. In our previous video called Why We See Dinosaurs in the Attack on Titan Season 2 opening, we talked about how all of the Titan shifters appear to have certain special abilities based on the abilities of different animals. So So for example, the Beast Titan closely resembles an ape. Jaws is like a chimpanzee but with teeth that resemble an alligator or dinosaur. The Armored Titan and other titans can harden their skin like some animals can. For example, turtles who have a hard shell. The female titan can call other titans to her with a cry, like many animals can do with mating calls, and so on. And although the secret power of the Warhammer Titan might at first appear to contradict this theory, since no animal can harness the power of lightning, it is important to remember that certain animals like electric eels can actually generate electricity. So even for this type of power, there are some examples in nature. And so that is our theory about the secret power of the Warhammer Titan and why the Tybur family was able to escape persecution by the Marleyan government and keep the Warhammer Titan power to themselves for so long. But this is just a theory, of course, we can't know for sure yet, so I invite all of you to let us know what your own theories are down below. It could also be possible that the Tybur family no longer possesses the Warhammer Titan, but because everyone still believes that they do, they continue to enjoy the benefits. If this was the case and someone stole the power of the Warhammer Titan from them, just like Owl managed to steal the power of the Attack Titan, then someone within the walls could possess the 9th Titan power, maybe even someone we already know. For now, this is just speculation, of course. Still, some of the best Attack on Titan theories I've heard come out of the comment sections to our videos, which is amazing, and I encourage all of you to keep up the great discussions. A huge thank you to all of our Anime Uproar patrons for helping to make these videos possible, including Shatos, Gilgamesh, Third Strike Shawnado, Christian Floor, Urbano, AMS, Original Inc., and Mega. And if you would like to consider supporting the channel, the Patreon link is in the description. Every bit helps, even a single $1. As always, thank you all so much for watching and for the continued support. It really means a lot to us. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.